phela mawungafuni ukuthi omunye guy athathe umntwana wakho out, you make sure that you take your child out. But if you don't play that part, the child umntana ngeke nje ahlale nje ekube the opportunities ukuthi anga explore igana ego. Why are you comfortable with her and not with me? You are influencing my child. That's why she's always you feel like you're mthenga ngemali because I can't afford. There must be a balance, because sometimes must spoiler too much manje umntwana ubaba ke akakhona ukumisa eMcDonald's and thina simisa every weekend. Obviously you prefer ukuba ngapha because the benefits aside. Hi guys, welcome back to the Mindset Shift with myself, Tsholofelo Bokako. If this is your first time catching up on the show, please make sure that you like or subscribe to our channel. It has been an interesting past episode. The last one we spoke about parenting and the impact it has on the technology. Today we're a bit close to that whole part, but we are diving into co-parenting. It's a serious one. We've had back and forth from parents and just the fights that happens when you have to share the child. It's nice when we make the baby together, but then when we are longer together, does the child have to suffer? Is co-parenting the best way to do it? And how do we make it work? As always, I have my producer in studio who we're going to chat it up and see what we can do about this interesting topic. Let's get to it. So Banele, what are your thoughts? Co-parenting.
I think if you can avoid it. But if you cannot, just try and make it work.
What do you mean avoid it?
Like, for example, try and plan your life. Uguti, the person that you're with now, if you're going to have kids with them, just make sure Uguti, this person is most likely a lifetime partner.
Yeah, okay, but that's not that's not an easy thing to kind of, I mean, all of us, when we have our partners, we think we're going to last the longest time, but then unfortunately it doesn't happen, and then it gets to a point where now the child has to be split between the two parents. And I've seen in most cases some people have done it successfully. I'm actually co-parenting with the father of my child currently. It's working. Yes, it took us a while to get to a point where we are, and I just wish we had somebody who had a different experience. But I've got friends and people that I know who are actually struggling to make it work. So do you have a personal experience of somebody that is not working for them?
My brother has, in fact, with the person that he's with now, my brother had 2 kids before, right? Mm-hmm. But for some reason, the person that he's with now only accepts the first son. She seems to believe that the second son is not his.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, you guys got together. Why can you not accept him along with his, I'll say baggage, for lack of a better word. Mm. Yeah, so the small little things like him, and I'm talking about the last born, him like coming over to visit like agavagashi because of the wife has a problem.
Yeah.
You know? If komela vagashi uvagashela tina, his family side, but guye. And I'm sure like lentema factor.
Definitely. I think it's a great point that you're making. And this is why I wanted us to talk about this topic, because most of us as a woman, you know, Tina, we've seemed to be the ones that are actually making situations a bit difficult when it comes to our partners or our boyfriends, our baby daddies, our husbands and things like that, because we're emotionally involved. And then how you make me feel affects, you know, which is something that I had to learn a lot from, because I also was upset with the father of my child and the way I'm treating a corner, and I felt like he doesn't deserve to be in my child's life. But that doesn't make sense, and it affected Mntwana so badly. It showed in his school results. The first year we broke up, and the back and forth had. By the end of the year, we saw that impact Guma results Mntwana, because it was actually stressing him out. So we had to get to a amicable point where I'm adults, but it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I don't have any experience with, so to speak, co-parenting, right? But I've seen how difficult it can be on both, you know, the parent and the child. Because with men in particular, either a guy will, say for example, deny umntana and run away, but if ukhona, they try and be there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, let's just say, if we enter into a relationship, you've got a child, I can be there as a father to umntwana okungaso wami,
Yeah.
and fully accept, and also acknowledging that, oh, I'm also co-parenting kumntana okungaso wami, but because of siyazwana, it's still also my child.
Yeah.
So co-parenting, people seem to think, oh yeah, no, we had a child together and that's it. But what about the co-parenting where you're now in a relationship with someone that also has a child? So
And
you
then
also
you have to play that part as well.
right, because now the co-parenting involves three parties. It's you, let's just say the new girlfriend, it's him, and the baby mama. So all three of y'all are co-parenting.
It's a good situationship. You know, that's very, it's a good point because Zintle has a reality show, ne?
Right.
And now they had this discussion with AKA where AKA expressed that he wants to be in Zintle and Bong's child's life. You know? And Uzintle kind of agrees to those sentiments, but Bongs doesn't really understand why. Like,
it's a
why
power
do
thing.
you want to be involved in my child's life? You have your own child. But, you know, in a way, I felt like it makes sense. I mean, how many guys want to be involved in the lives of their exes, other kids? I mean, I'll just focus on Cairo, who's my child. But at the same time, Cairo and this baby are siblings.
Exactly.
You know?
I was about to say that. They're siblings.
So people were furious on Twitter about AKA, how dare he's got a nerve. I'm thinking, for me, I feel like that is co-parenting on the next mature level.
You know what I mean?
When the guy wants to be involved and say, I know we are no longer together, now you have another person and you have a child with them, but I want to be involved in the child's life because the child is my child's sibling, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that was amicable of AKA, but people didn't think to seem so.
Do you guys have expectations? I'm talking about your original baby daddy, right?
Yeah.
Biological father. Do you have expectations which he should still provide to that level, knowing very well that you guys have broken up? He probably has other children out there that he needs to take care of.
But if it's his child, he has to take care.
I'm asking on that level.
Yeah. I'm expecting you to do what you can for your child. 110%.
Cool. So sharp. So let me bring it home. So you and I have a child. We break up. I've got two other kids, right? And I still somewhat earn the same amount. Do you still expect me to give you like 2K every month?
It depends on the relationship we have. I think it's broad. It depends on, it's situational, number one. Uguti, like, how open are we, mina now, in terms of, even though we're no longer together, but how's our communication? Are we still cool? Yeah, but that plays a big part. But I'm going to expect you to be there for your child.
I'm going to be there.
Yes,
I'm
and then
financially.
if you bring your situation to me and be like, this is the situation. Like me, the roles were reversed. Ne?
Sure.
The whole time, me and the baby daddy, I was the one who was like, Yena bega. But now, when I lost my employment 2 years ago, the roles were reversed. So I was the one now who needed him to step up. So we sat down and had a discussion to say, this is the situation. Here I am, and I'm going to need you to help me with 1, 2, 3. And we talked it out, and he was like, you know what, the whole time you've had my back, and it's time for me to help you, and that's what I'm going to do. So it was easier because of where we were in our relationship. But I think if we were not at that point, we were going back and forth, it was going to be a challenge for him to kind of like, I don't know. So
do you think it's a woman thing?
I think it's a woman. It's a situational thing.
They expect to go to, we should still keep on doing the same, knowing very well I also have a new family that I need to take care of.
It becomes tricky because our outlook is sometimes it happens if maybe we broke up, but I still love you. That love becomes bitterness in a way. And then you having this new family and showing up for them 100%, it makes me feel some type of way. And I'm expecting you to show up the same way for your child because at the end of the day, it's your child. Whether une family and you got what, I mean, come on.
But I'm talking finances, ne? Being there, like I'm always there for my child like I was before.
Yeah.
Right? I'm talking finances, Uguti. Now that you have your own family or or another child, who knows? I also have one, right? Expenses are now different.
Yeah.
So it's as if women don't understand, because here's a perfect example. My brother, Long Kumangai, he, njengoba kuyi-COVID, so he, umntwana like uhlele ekhaya, ne? The woman still expected the same amount of money, right? And knowing very well ukuthi abasaya esikolweni, so there's no need for imali transport. Number one, right? Number two, I remember those 2 months, my nephew bekahlela kugogo.
Yeah.
So she expected imali yokudla yonke into, and then when he told us, it's okay, you know what, guys, this is happening. She says she wants this very same amount of money, but number one, my son is not going to school, so it transport angibhadali. Ukudla udla la kugogo, right? So I should rather take this money ngiphe kugogo.
Yes,
but she was reluctant, like ayifuni imali ukuthi no imali yomntana.
Yeah, lawyer was just I mean, it's situational. It's situational, and as women, honestly, we like making situations a bit difficult. Angifuni ukukhuluma mama. And for some reason, it comes from a justified point, because I'm looking at you on what you've done personally, and unfortunately abantwana bangena indawo lapho, because umntwana behangekho akazi ukuthi your dad uchitile wayenzani. You're hurt vele as a woman, but it even makes things worse manje, if manje the guy doesn't even give you the respect maseka hambile. He doesn't. I have a situation where I have a friend who the baby daddy used to be 100% there for the child, and as soon as they broke up, with this new family, the guy changed totally. Azange safonela abantwana, azange sabanika imali, took them from a private school to a public school, and then now he's doing the most for labantwana laba abatholile with this woman.
But and you know, men don't speak, eh?
What do you mean?
What I'm trying to say is that now mas ngahlukana and ngibe ku relationship entsha, ne? I will get pressure from my new relationship with Indoda. What about your family, this one here?
Yeah.
Right? And obviously, I'm getting pressure this side. So I bet you if they're like, what happened? You used to be there 100%. Like, what changed?
Yeah,
men don't speak. Like they bottle stuff.
I maybe feelings are guilty for like supporting your kids, and they are punishing you in some other way. Us women can do that.
And women, they weaponize
Abantwana, that's true. That's very true.
They do.
And Omunye will be like, yeah, if you don't do this, you're not going to see your kids. If you don't do this, I'm not going to make sure. And really, it destroys abantwana at the end of the day. If you, I mean, this topic, why we're discussing this, is just to find a balance, a healthier family. You know, it's better to, I don't know, it's a maturity, because I know Ngami, I used to be so upset. But then because I grew up without my dad, I know the impact. You know, I know how it's affected me growing up without a father, because there was bickering, your family, what. But then I just made that conscious decision. You know what, I'm just going to take my feelings aside. And I don't share DNA no Baba Gafente, but he shares DNA with his child. So they are more family than I am family with him.
Gotcha.
So with that reason alone just made me say, you know what, I'm just going to put my pain aside and deal with it. But umntwana, I'm going to unleash. Kids are not dumb. Umntwana uzobona good out of the two parents, ubani usile kahle kahle. And then you'll see it when they're adult, and it's not going to be nice.
And then when it comes to parenting styles, do you guys talk about how best to co-parent as far as, you know, things like discipline?
Yeah. Yes. Because those are actually when we decide to say, okay, you know what, it's not gonna, as I say, together because we are always fighting. Let's separate, and then separator is for the best interest of the child. I'm gonna make my situation an example as well. Umntwana, we had to take him down. I think he was 9 when we separated. You know, and we had to just sit down, explain mom and daddy together. We fight a lot, and I think we're better when we're separated. Yabo? That's it. But then must I see too, because I'm strict out of me, no Baba Gafente, I'm the strict parent. I'm the bad cop.
Yeah.
And he's the good cop. And I know good he's the good cop. So siyahlala phansi sibonisane about, okay, isikhathi somntwana sokubuya. Makangapha versus makangale. Because akahlali during the week, Monday to Friday, he's at the father's side. Uza give me a weekend. Yabo? And obviously there's two different steps. Ngale uyo no baba ke kuphela. ngapha it's me, ugogo, abomalume, and everybody. So the balance it sometimes become a challenge, and mani khuluma nithi unazana ukuthi okay ungale ulapho ufikile, yeah, okay ulapho, it helps ngoba umntwana ngeke akhona ukumanipulate, because children take advantage if abazali abazwani. Makathi ngiyakubaba, you're not going to call the dad because you're not on speaking terms. Umntwana can just go to Nigeria athi ngiyakubaba and you don't even know. So it's very important to actually communicate all the time. I'm challenges. Umntwana mumfana, as soon as he started getting pubic hair, I was freaked out, and he came to me like, "Mom, look," and I was like, "Oh my god."
So you really freaked out?
I was. I'm like, oh. Because I thought umncani to have pubic hair like that, I got shocked because
you mean the quantity of the
hair? Yes, and I mean I don't want to get into details. I don't want to sound like a freaky mother, but
so it wasn't like that one little strand.
No, it was like ta-da! And I was like, oh. So I freaked out because I thought, Guti, as umfana, he should be getting that like maybe at 14 or 15. I didn't know. At 9, at 11, you can still. So me and him went to Google. I'm like, let's go to Google and see if this is normal. And then Google explained, good, from the age of 9 for guys, for abantwana babafana, from that time they can what. And then I sat with the dad and said, hey, this is what happened. He showed me this. And he's like, yeah, we talked about it. And then ngambuza guti, does he feel comfortable to share with umamake what's happening to him? And he's like, yeah. So my child is open like that, but yeah, it was
yeah. And then when it comes to partners that you have,
yeah,
and he,
yes,
also has, like, how do you guys juggle that?
Whew. Yeah, that one became a challenge. Especially.
Or should I say partners? Because sometimes it happens. Ukuthi uyazama ukuzwana nomuntu manje, ne? And then you quickly discover that, nope, this relationship, they're not the right person.
And then there's someone else.
And then there's someone else, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so with me, I took a decision to, when we had separated, I left him. So he wasn't ready to be let go of yet. And after a while, I'd already found my current partner that I'm with. And he made it clear, good, okay, he doesn't have a problem with me moving on, but he's not going to appreciate us doing dates with Nomtonaki. So he doesn't want my child to be involved with my boyfriend. If you want to go out on movies and whatever, we can do it together, but not with his child.
Forever or guamanje? Because let's say, okay, like we have shot.
Yeah, he did say until you guys get married and it's official.
No, but okay, so marriage is just a formal.
Well, yeah. Well, he said until we get married.
But even if, let's say, you don't get married, ne? But this is your partner. Okay, ngizamguthi umshado doesn't necessarily mean ukuthi monga shatanga doesn't mean unco serious.
Oh yeah, yes.
Right, so that's what I'm trying to say. So, athi man mo shadile kuphela.
Yeah, it's
because if it's a boyfriend.
Yeah, because like he made it clear. Oh, he was adamant, and we had a big fight about it. And he said, I don't want a stepfather, whatever. The child has a father, and the father is alive. So you can do whatever you want with your boyfriend, but you don't bring my child into it. And you know what? I respected him for that. I didn't do it. I don't do it. But then relationship, my boyfriend and my son, we are mazi, and they talk, and it's okay. But when we do fun going out things.
Right, so your boyfriend man just says, look, Sebenzini, I just won 2 weeks vacation. I can take up to 4 people. It means your son's staying behind.
My son is staying behind.
So if your boyfriend is moneyed, and it means your son isn't.
Uzamenzela phela nami phela ngeke manje ngilibele ngilandele imithetho ekubeni ubaba khona is not actually balancing that. Phela mawungafuni ukuthi omunye guy athathe umntwana wakho out, you make sure that you take your child out. But if you don't play that part, the child umntwana ngeke nje ahlale nje ekube the opportunities ukuthi anga explore igana ekuphi.
Yeah, because this brings us back to what I spoke about eqaleni.
Yeah.
So co-parenting, especially if you're dating as a parent at the time, ne? People think, yeah, no, I'm just co-parenting, no muntu ngihlukene naye, but we're co-parenting. No, I'm saying there's also another person involved. And we can, because initially I said 3, but let me just add a 4th person.
Because both parents can have partners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
right? And you can also co-parent to umntwana ongaso wakho. Cool. I'm just saying, this is part of the co-parenting. Ukuthi sesihlukene. I do understand ukuthi you'll also have abantu in your life. I think what would be understandable or acceptable, in my opinion, is that if he says, please try your best. Try your best to make sure ukuthi lo muntu that you bring empilweni yakhe ne umuntu stable. Right?
Yes.
Because kusasa, God forbid, we're all gonna die. Angashona. And who knows, your current boyfriend can step up and play the fatherly role.
Because they already built that bond together. I
You know?
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But
Or
yeah, it's
even
not an
if,
easy one.
let's just say he's not able to provide like he wasn't for the first 7 years. If you're in your corner, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let the child benefit. I mean, I feel like umntwana needs to, as long as the partners are loving and
Exactly,
open towards
stable.
the child,
Yeah.
and abeko abusive and whatnot. I
Thank
don't see
you.
Gutu why Meluguti. Actually, it's a benefit for a child to have like 4 people rather than having 2.
Exactly, because
It's
what
twice
if
the love.
Okay, for example, what if he's not business minded, ne? The father, actual father, and then Lorna, boyfriend, is business minded. I'm talking about a story I read called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Rich Dad Poor Dad learned from his father's friend, right? But it could have been a stepfather who's okay, this is how you do it in business. And Manje is a
And
multi-millionaire
can learn
because
that.
of that.
Exactly.
But he didn't learn that from his
From
own
the father.
father.
Exactly. So the positive influence can come from either.
Yeah.
Maybe Mina, I can't talk to my child as a mother, but the girlfriend is more open to him.
Is a psychologist.
And
She's a psychologist.
but again, it depends on the maturity level
why?
because it can come across like, why are you comfortable with her and not with me? You are influencing my child. That's why she's always you feel like you are mthenga ngemali because I can't afford. There must be a balance because sometimes must say spoiler too much. Manje umntwana baba ke akakhona ukumisa McDonald's and thina simisa every weekend. Obviously, you prefer ukuba ngapha because the benefits aside. And then that will just kind of make the dad. There needs to be a balance. Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
There needs to be a balance. Yeah, it's been an interesting one. I mean, we can go on for days, but then I think what's important is just to find that healthy balance between the two parents. At the end of the day, it's about their child and the child's well-being. So if both parents are good and positive, it's for the benefit of the child. I mean, this topic, we can expand it, guys. If you have anything you want to say, please put your comments. What is your situation? Are you in a co-parenting? Is it positive? Is it negative? And what are you going to do about it? As we wrap it up, thank you so much for watching. And if, like I said, please like, subscribe, follow us, and catch us again next week when you come again with an interesting topic right here on the Mindset Shift. We're out, baby.